I think
And
we're in
now
the
this
reunion
wonderful tune
1981
by a
now.
wonderful lady about this great land of America that we live in. And so, Kate Smith and God Bless America. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountain to the prairie, to the ocean, white with foam. God bless America, our home, sweet home. God bless America, our home, sweet home. And so Kate Smith does that wonderful number for us. And now another lady from over in England that I used to listen to when I was a small boy on the radio before TV and all of this was Gracie Fields. And she used to sing a song. Wish me luck, 'cause you waved me goodbye. Cheerio, here we go on our way. And also, what's the good of a birthday if you can't get good and sick? What's the use of having cake if you can't have your pick? Now I ask you why. Now down in the living room was Mother, Jeannie, and Reverend Jim, and they knew that in pajamas I mustn't come in, so I took them off and come down in my skin. I got whipped, I did, and I had to sleep on my face, 'cause I smarted and smarted in one certain place. And of course there's Jack Benny and Rochester. Rochester one time was called up Jack Benny on the phone, and this is what it sounded like.
Hello there, Mr. Benny. Yeah, this is Rochester. I just lost that two-seated bicycle at a poker game. Yeah, Mr. Benny, you better get down here right away. I got a policeman on both arms. Yes, sir. I'll see you, Mr. Benny. Goodbye.
And also the other comedians from that time, Amos and Andy, and this is the story of Amos and Andy when it was a time when Andy was down in the hospital, and so Amos went down to see him, and this is the way the conversation went.
Say there, Andy, what's this here you done called me down to the hospital for?
Well, I'll tell you, Amos, this old doctor here done told me I was going to kick my bucket, and before I does, I want to talk to you.
Well, I understand that part of it, Andy, but what you want to talk about?
Well, I'll tell you, Amos, when I done kicks my bucket, I want you to take my body to one of them crematoriums or whatever they call them, and have my body cremated.
Well, I understand that part of it, Andy, but what you want me to do with the ashes?
Well, I'll tell you, Amos, you just take them ashes and put them in one of these big brown manila envelopes and address it to the Receiver General of National Revenue, and they'll have everything.
Now, a little of Fred Allen. This is Fred Allen Show, brought to you every Sunday night by the makers of Kellogg's Cornflakes. I'll be here with some guest stars like Jack Benny, Gracie Allen, and many others. And so, then we go to that old red-headed crooner from Brooklyn, New York, Arthur Godfrey, and Too Fat Polka.
Oh, I don't want her, you can have her, she's too fat for me. She's too fat, she's too fat, she's too fat for me. Oh, I get dizzy, oh, I get dumbo, oh, when I'm dancing with my jumbo. I don't want her, you can have her, she's too fat for me. Oh, she's too fat, much too fat, she's too fat for me.
Now, I'll give you a little of the barnyard sounds down on Grandpa and Grandma's farm. Now, we had a little dog here named Tess, and when I go out and I have trouble with the pigs, I sig Tess on the pigs, and it sounds like this. And then, of course, as you walk around the farm, you see Grandma's got 2 beautiful ducks and 1 goose. And then pretty soon in flies the crows. And of course, then around the corner comes Josh's colt. And then comes the steers.
There was killing Karen Gallagher again.
Yeah.
That's
And
Gallison
then there's
again.
Grandpa's sheep. Brr, nah, brr. And of course, there is the neighbor's goat. And of course, those wonderful eating birds that we eat at Christmas time and at Thanksgiving.
Nothing like sleeping and eating at the same time, huh?
And now I'll do Lena's Wedding by Jorgi Jorgensen. Me and my little woman was just happy as we could be. We finally married our daughter off when she was 33. She was married in her home and things went quietly till someone spiked the punch at Lena's wedding. They was the cutest couple that our friends had ever seen. Lena weighed 180 and the groom weighed 116. He looked pale when they got hitched, but later he turned green, 'cause someone spiked the punch at Lena's wedding. The whole darn bunch was hooping it up. The wedding turned into a brawl, for nobody knew that the fruit juice punch, she was spiked with pure alcohol. Mrs. Olson, the head of the ladies' aid, she was loaded and sure having fun. Let's dance, she yelled at the preacher, and she hiccupped like a son of a gun. And old Peter Ongerhurst, the undertaker, who don't smile at you till you're dead, he suddenly jumped up on the table with her best lampshade on his head. And then through the crowd in her wedding dress, and blubbering and ready for fight, come Lena screaming, "Oh, Papa, my Ingvald is out like a light." And sure enough, on the Davenport, with his hair full of rice and confetti, was old Ingvald the bridegroom, all stretched out as limp and as ripe as spaghetti. I felt his hand, it was cold and moist, but his forehead was colder and moister. And he opened one eye, which looked to me, yes, like a big blue oyster. Then Lena, she folded her muscular arms, and everyone there heard her yell, "The car's out front on our wedding night. We'll spend in some quiet motel." She took hold of her husband right by the neck, and for the seat of his pants hung slack, Lena, she left on her honeymoon, with her man riding piggyback. Oh, the next day it was Sunday, and the preacher had to wait, 'cause some of the wedding guests arrived in church a little late. The preacher knew the reason for the full collection played, 'cause someone spiked the punch at Lena's wedding, but we all had fun. And when you get out in the wilds, then you hear some sounds like this. On the prairies here, at nights you can go out, and here's the sound you hear. And of course, if you go up north, in the bush and in the north country, the brothers to these coyotes and the wolves go. Well, now, kids, I'm going to sing another song, one of Dusty's favorites, one of the grandkids. And this is When I Grew Up in the Mountains. When I grew up in the mountains, out where the snakes have legs, where the hoot owls speaking English, and the roosters lay square eggs, I shaved my beard and mustache on the morning I was born, and that night beat up my old dad and drank his rye corn. Oh, I'm a truthful fella, and they call me True Blue Bill, but I've never told a falsehood, and I bet I never will.
I think Dawn knew her age back there.
I've sailed the 7 seas. I've tamed man-eating monsters from lions on down to fleas. I've swam the wide Pacific and I've walked around the room. I've waded 40 feet of snow on the 31st of June. Oh, I'm a truthful fella, and they call me True Blue Bill, but I've never told a falsehood, and I bet I never will. Now once when I was a flyer and in my aeroplane, I flew across to Paris and I started home again. When I got halfway over, the doggone motor bombed, so I left the thing a-sitting up there and I climbed out and walked. Oh, I'm a truthful fella, and they call me True Blue Bill, but I've never told a falsehood, and I bet I never will. Now once when I was shipwrecked in the islands of the seas, by the cannibals I was captured and they tied me to a tree.
They danced and beat their tom-toms and they got pretty rough. They said I wouldn't make good steak 'cause I was too doggone tough. Oh, I'm a truthful fella, and they call me True Blue Bill, but I've never told a falsehood, and I bet I never will. Now, father of our country, he never told